and I could literally cry when I look at this bag. This Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Andri. Today's video is a tag video. I was tagged by three lovely ladies. I was tagged by EYELINER, The Style Cinnamon and The Life of MC. I will have all three YouTubers linked below. Thank you ladies for tagging me. First of all, get your glass ready, whatever it is you like to drink. Cheers and let's get started. This video is actually quite hard because I could probably give you a story about each one of my bags. You know, I received bags to begin with. It was as a birthday present, as a Christmas present. So they're all quite significant and sentimental to me. Hence why I find it really, really hard to sell a bag. But I have managed to choose three. But like I said, every one of these, I mean the one that's sitting right here, this was the bag that I carried to my second son's wedding. So, you know, there's a story behind them. The story behind getting the Pochette Métis, whoa, that's a story in itself. And I think I have spoken about that in one of my very early videos. But I'm going to talk about three bags today. The first one is a Burberry. The second one is a Gucci, and the third one is of course a Chanel bag. So we're going to start off with the Burberry, and I could literally cry when I look at this bag. This bag has so many memories, and the most important memory this bag has was that my mum carried this bag. In fact, I got this bag for Christmas. It was when everybody wanted to carry Burberry. It was before, you know, Burberry was very popular, got very popular, and then everybody started wearing it, and then there was so many copies of it, and then Burberry got itself a bad name and nobody wanted to carry Burberry. Or at least over here, I know in Cyprus people still loved it. When we were kind of starting to turn our noses up at Burberry, I know in Cyprus it was still very popular. But to me, this bag, and I can see my mum carrying it as I'm talking about it, it was my bag, and I had got it for Christmas with money that my mum and dad had given me. I can't remember if Rico put money towards it. I can't remember, but it was mainly, you know, my mum and dad would give me money for Christmas, and I remember I wanted to buy, you know, like a real designer bag. You know, I wanted to move away from the kind of Radleys and that sort of thing. I wanted like a real designer bag. So this was my first ever designer bag, and I remember we went into Fraser's and we got it, and even myself, I couldn't believe that I had spent that amount of money on a bag and it wasn't even leather, because of course this is canvas and it's, you know, the exact same style as the Speedy. So I bought this bag and I carried it for a long time. It was my everyday bag. Took it to dinner, took it to everything, and I absolutely loved it. And you could fit an absolute ton in this bag. I have it stuffed at the moment. Let's have a quick look inside. There's dust coming out of it. So it has the lining inside. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. That says Burberry. This bag is really old. It's really old. I can see it. Yeah, it does have stains in it. It's got the Burberry label just there. But so I carried this for a long time, and then when it wasn't so fashionable, I'll just throw these papers down. When it wasn't so fashionable to carry a Burberry bag, I passed it on to my mum. And you know, I'm looking at it now, and I remember looking at the bag and thinking, you know, some of these designs on it. The horses, is it horses that Burberry have? Yeah, the horses. They're upside down, but of course now, you know, when you learn more about designer bags, you know. But anyway, going off again. So back to this. So when it wasn't so fashionable to carry the bag, I passed it on to my mum, who absolutely loved it and used it until I took it away from her. When I gave it to my mum used it every day. And when you think how much this bag was used, honestly, look, there's nothing, you know. Okay, it's dirty, it is dirty, like the handles are dirty because they were used, you know, it is dirty, but that's all it is. It's there's no scratches, there's no wear, and it's the same with the lining. And let me tell you, my mum stuffed this bag. She really used it, and she used it in Cyprus where, you know, it was hot. So this bag is very sentimental to me because my mum used it. It was my first designer bag. She loved it, I loved it, and you know, and I ended up taking it away from her when her dementia kicked in. My mum was always, when her dementia kicked in, she would open it up, take everything out, put things back in, take everything out, put back, zip it, close it, zip it. You know, it was a continuous thing. And if you know anything about dementia, you know what it can be like. So I decided to take it away from her, and the zip here which said Burberry has also gone missing. I mean, the bag zips, it's stiffened, it probably just needs oiling, but it's stiffened, and obviously it's quite hard because the zip is like that. But really impressed with how, you know, no fraying. Even when you look at the stitching and all that, there's absolutely no fraying or anything. Like I said, the only thing that's wrong with this bag is it's dirt, you know. And yeah, when I look at this, it feels more like Mama's bag. So yeah, I had to take it away from her because of her dementia, and I just gave her a cheap bag to play about with. I don't think she ever enjoyed the cheaper bag as much as she did this, probably realising this is not my bag, and she was probably looking for this. But I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have taken it away. Anyway, let's move on. Let's say cheers mum on that. Cheers to my mum. So the second bag is this Gucci bag here with the bamboo. Now I don't even know what this bag was called, because when I was buying designer bags, or when my husband was buying me designer bags, I didn't really care what they were called, if I had to be honest. You know, it was, I would see a bag, I liked a bag, and that's the bag I would go for. You know, I wasn't influenced by what everybody else was buying on YouTube, you know, that kind of thing. Now normally with, I'll just take everything out of the bag. Here's the original dust bag. Oh, there's something in here. Oh, do you know what that is? A customer of mine gave me this in the restaurant. I'm going to open that up. Gosh, I'm going to open this up and I'm going to tell you what this little baggy thing is. But let's talk about the bag first. So if you look at Gucci bags, they all have this leather tab here. At the back they have a number, and normally when you look up this number, you can see the name of the bag and all the details of the bag. And I tried to do that with this morning, just to find out the name of this bag, but it wasn't coming up. Other bags were coming up. This is definitely a real bag, because my husband bought me this bag from Rome, from the Gucci shop. And I remember this is just a charm, a Gucci charm that I've added to it. So this was, Rico bought me this for my 40th birthday, which wasn't that long ago, says she. It's actually a very long time ago. But yeah, so he bought me this for my 40th birthday, and I remember thinking, when we looked at the price of the bag at the time, I'm sure it was, now going back 14 years, this bag was around about the £600 mark. And I remember having palpitations at the price of this bag. I mean, like all my bags. I really used this bag, and you can tell how much I used it from the bamboo just here. That is well used. But again, everything else on the bag was absolutely, you know, no wear. I mean, no fraying or tearing or even scratches. And this bag was used, really used. And again, inside, it's, you know, the brown lining that Gucci have. It doesn't say Gucci on the lining, but anyway, and it has a zipped pocket there. So I remember thinking, oh my goodness, and literally he says to me, look Andri, it's your 40th. If that's the bag you like, that's the bag we'll get for you. He says, I'll get you for your 40th birthday. So he took me to Rome for my 40th birthday, which I absolutely loved. And we went into the Gucci shop, and he bought me this Gucci bag here, which was the bag that I had chosen. But again, like I said, the price of it was really, I was like, oh my goodness, for a bag, you know, it was a lot of money. So I went to bed, you know, like, oh my goodness, all that money on a Gucci bag. And then woke up in the morning and said, you know, I really fancy the purse to that bag. That guilt didn't last long. So this is sentimental because it was, for me at that time, major money to spend on a bag. Rico had got it for my 40th birthday. It was a trip to Rome. So yeah, and I really loved this bag and used it. So yeah, bag number 2. Bag number 3, it's my old lady right here, and I've had her for a very long time, and I could sell this bag and get my money back, I think 3 times over. Not quite, but there or thereabouts. So this is the Chanel medium classic, and oh, the homework I put into this bag. It's because of this bag I discovered YouTube. Yeah, because of this bag. Because I googled Chanel classic flat or Chanel bags just to get some information, and up popped YouTube. I don't even think I realised YouTube existed at the time actually. And I saw somebody, you know, unboxing their bag, quite a dark video, and got hooked to YouTube as well as Chanel from that video onwards, and then discovered Trina Levers, and you know, the rest is history. So this bag is very sentimental to me because it's a bag I never ever thought I would have, and previous to that I'd always check prices on this, try and find out things about it, and would think, oh, on a bag, no chance, absolutely no chance. But then when I got this bag, I was dealing with a lot. I was dealing with my mum's dementia at that stage where it's so hard, and it was that made me think, do you know what? What's the point of living your life and not enjoying the things that you want to? And really, because I had my mum, I couldn't really have holidays, I couldn't really do anything. So my enjoyment at that time was treating myself to something special. So instead of putting the money to a holiday, it would go onto a bag. Yeah. So this bag is a bag I never thought I would have. This was my first ever Chanel bag, and I feel as good carrying this bag today as I did the first day I bought it. And I spoke about feeling nervous about the amount of money I had spent on the Gucci bag. Well, I couldn't even unbox this bag. I mean, I wasn't on YouTube or anything at the time, but I did video myself. Well, I got Rico to video myself unboxing this bag, and I do have the footage on it, and I have got it on one of my videos actually. I couldn't open it, thinking of what I had spent on this bag, and I'm like, I can't do this. But I did. I'm glad I did. So it's sentimental to me because it reminds me of a lot of things. And when I went to get this bag, I took my mum with me. We drove down to Manchester to get the bag, and I can see her, and I took her with me. She had her dementia, and I took her into the Chanel boutique in Manchester, and yeah, it is very sentimental to me. So these are my 3 chosen bags for this tag video. I will also link some YouTubers below. I at this point in time, I have lost track as to who has done it and who hasn't done it. If you haven't done it, I'm tagging you. If you would like to do it, I'm tagging you. But I will tag some YouTubers down below to do the tag. But that was quite, didn't think it would be, but yeah. Oh, I've just looked down and I've seen this. So this was in the Gucci bag. So let me open it up for you, because it was a customer of mine that gave me this, and she said I was to keep it in my bag, and I must just left it in that Gucci bag. It's very old, but here we go. So it's a little bag like this. Can you see all the dust? So there's a little note inside. So it says, a friendship gift just for you, an eraser to make all your little mistakes go away. Oh, I'm getting really sentimental here. A penny so you will never be completely broke. A marble for those days when you're losing yours. Yeah. An elastic band to help you stretch beyond your limits. A piece of string to hold your world together when it all seems to be falling apart. A tissue to dry away your tears. A chocolate treat to remind you that someone cares about you and thinks you are special. And for some random reason, there's also this little ring in here. So I don't know why that's in here. So yeah, and I remember exactly who gave me this. Mrs. Hunter. Thank you very much for watching. I'd like to say, if you're new to my channel, I invite you to subscribe. If you've been with me for a while, I thank you, and cheers.